Well, this is different. What's going on, guys? My name is Matt Omega, and welcome to my next Let's Play. This is Submachine, or rather, this is the series known as Submachine. This is a Flash game. This is one of those Flash games that you'd find online, you'd play in your internet browser. It really sounds like I've hit the bottom of the barrel, doesn't it? Wow, 3 Let's Plays in, that was quick. Well, I'm not actually playing this in a internet browser. I'm actually playing this as a HD, well, quote-unquote HD executable that I was able to buy for a couple bucks. I'll get into that later. But basically, Submachine is it's actually quite a long-running series. It's got 10 games and 3 spin-offs to it. And I've followed this series for quite a while, and I really love it. And I wanted to share that to you guys, which is why I don't care about me resorting to what was pretty much an online Flash game. I like the game, and so I play it. It's as simple as that. But may as well just jump straight into it. Now, this is going to be very different as a game compared to what I've done so far, considering everything I've done so far as RPGs. So, yeah. Alright, so this is a point-and-click puzzle adventure game. And already right there we have our objective. This is the strange circular tile thing on the wall. Our objective is to find 4 triangular tiles to place into here, and we can escape. Yep, simple as that. And this place is, as the title would have you believe, this is the basement. Got a few different things here. Man, every time I boot up this game, it always takes me back. I used to play this game a lot during primary school, or I don't know what the equivalent of it is in like America and all that, but we're seeing a few things around here. There's a huge power box here. We've got pipe, some kind of clock looking thing, and these switches, and we want to pull these switches. I'll do something later. Take note of this. We'll be back for that. Alright. And we've got a lovely picture of a lighthouse here. It's fantastic. Great craftsmanship. Even though it's just a drawing. You know what I mean? Alright. Now, these are valves, I believe. Well, actually, this is a valve. These are pumps. And we need to set them in the right order, but we don't know what that order is yet, so we'll come back to it. And this is an ancient coin. Now, this has some quite interesting design to it. But if we hover over these characters here, we actually get a number, 6483, so we want to take note of that. And we've got another little power juncture here, I suppose. I think that's what that is. My English is good. Alright, I think we pull 3 of these switches now, and look at this. We have a single page from a diary. Last summer I went camping under the big waterfall of Kent. I guess it was a great trip for me, however, some people do not understand why. Well, I did lose my left arm, but what the hell? I found out I had a third arm. You know, the invisible one. I'm not crazy. Since then I started to learn how to use my Karma arm, and soon my skills were those of a master. It wasn't surprising me when people started turning their backs on me, since I was considered to be freak and mentally ill. I have no idea why. I mean, this is a normal thing. People are weird. Funny thing, I can't tell them the truth. It would be like explaining the possibility of space travel to a goldfish. What, you've never tried? I'll just leave it at that. So I'm just trying to, and it kind of cuts off there. Well, we'll have to see if there's a continuation to that somewhere else. But for now, we have, alright, so this is the combination of the pipes. But before we do that, we have this thing here. We have numbers. This is where we want to use that combination. 6483. 4, 8, 3. So as you guys can probably tell, this is pretty simple so far. This is not a hard little game whatsoever. In fact, it is a very little game. I'll be finished in a couple of minutes. So here's another little puzzle here. We got these bells here. And ringing them seems to raise these cubes in a certain way. So our next puzzle is we need to raise all the cubes up into the air. The solution is simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. Wow, that really resonates in my ear. Yeah, it's a really simple to figure out. And we have our first tile, tile D. I want to hold on to that. Now, what was the vertical, horizontal? Now, while I'm up this way, we'll actually go back over to here. And this is where this valve goes. I probably could have put it on as we went past it a couple more times, but, you know. Chuck him there. I didn't do it! Okay, now we want to go down this way. And, we've got a fuse box. How do I know it's a fuse box? Because this is a fuse. Now this place should have power. We got up here, we got this thing. Well, it has tile C in it, so, that's good, I guess. This thing, actually becomes active when we flip those 3 switches around the place, so... Good to know. We're moving on up. And we've got a little radio here. Oh, how lovely. And it grants us with a spoon. I've always wanted a spoon. Now, I probably should have shown what this looked like before I turned the valve. This used to be just a pipe that was not blown up. But it did have a little crack in it to let you know that it could be broken. And putting the pumps in the position we did and turning the valve was actually what broke it. And because of that, we get an old pearl. We've seen another one of these before, although you may have already forgotten. This clock-looking thing. Chuck the old pearl there. Now, it looks like a clock, but it's probably not actually a clock. Whatever it is, it gives us tile B, so, yay. And for the last of the tiles, now that we've put the fuse in the fuse box, we can now turn on the power box. And immediately turn it back off. Marvelous. Anyway, tile A. Alright, so now we can start chucking the tiles in here. Pretty simple, eh? But, wait just a minute. After we took out the power box, this happened down here. We had another little explosion down here to blow off this. And it sounds like something opened. So, we go back up this way. This ladder wasn't here before. Pretty. Mine! I have an ancient crystal of wisdom. This will come into play next game. But for now, let's insert all the tiles. There we go. Well, that's not creepy at all. But doing that, it spawns a door. Actually, it spawns an elevator. Up we go! And now... we have escaped! How lovely. Random footsteps. And that's it. Yeah, told you it'd be pretty short. In fact, I took things slow for the sake of this video. And normally I'd be done this in like 2 minutes, but I got to slow things down here. Got to show things off. From that, you can probably tell that I've played this game too many times. And that will kind of be a persisting thing throughout the rest of the series as well, because I still got another 9 core games to go through, and 3 spin-offs. Yeah, a series of Flash games that has spin-offs. How about that? Well, since this one was pretty short, I think I'll go into like what my history with this series is in the next game, where I have a bit more time to, think. And also because this was short, I think I'll end this off with a bit of a history lesson concerning this game. Because, as you can see, September 2005 was when it first came out. this version was 2014. But this isn't the only updated version that this game got, and I'll go into that right now. September 2005 marked the first release of the series' first game, and damn how things have changed. Looking at it now, the original and current versions of The Basement are practically two very different games. But this didn't all just happen at once. Over the 10 years that the core series saw new releases, up until its finale in 2015, The Basement saw a lot of love from series creator Mateusz Skutnik. Which I guess makes a lot of sense. This was the one that started it all. You'd want it to be as great as it can be in order to hold up its legacy. That he made sure of, as this game would continue to receive updates and rebuilds for almost the entire run of the core series. Well, let's start from the beginning. The original Submachine. Now, I personally didn't get introduced to the series until a little later on, more on that later, but I have a lot of memories with this one. But man, is it weird to go back to. If not because of its original inventory system, which worked off a drag and drop mechanic rather than point and click like it is now, then because of the basement's layout. Not only is everything in different places, but the entire map was also half the size, containing 11 rooms as opposed to the current 23. This also meant that some puzzle elements wouldn't be added until later, like the radio that gives you the spoon and the thing that gives you tile C. That's not all that's missing either. There's no picture of the lighthouse, and the ancient crystal of wisdom's nowhere to be found either. Which, if you went straight from this to Submachine 2, would leave you very confused, but more on that when we get to Submachine 2. Also, the ancient coin was a golden coin back then. How interesting. Also, can we talk about sound effects for a moment? As someone minoring in sound design, I both love it and seriously wonder why it's so over the top. Well, as interesting as it is to see how things start out, see my Pokemon Yellow Let's Play. Let's say we move on to some more familiar territory. Even directly after its release, Skutnik wasn't quite done with The Basement yet, because just 1 month later, in October of 2005, we got Submachine Extended Edition, which fulfills its title in every way. As of this extension, everything's here and accounted for. The radio, the ancient crystal of wisdom, the picture of the lighthouse, the thing, and this was the version to not only increase the room count to 23, but also introduce the map layout that every subsequent version of the game would use. To think, just 1 month after the original release, the game probably got its biggest update in the 10 years to come. This was still an early version, however, so we still have the old inventory system, the old title screen, and of course the... This would also be the only version of the game to do two things. One was an alternate ending. When you go up the elevator, you're greeted by two doors. The one with the blue light gives you the usual ending, whereas the door with the red light gives you an early sneak peek of the next game. Totally not a Matrix reference, by the way. The other was, well, increasing difficulty by means of bullshit. Remember the, thing? Well, normally it works when you flip all the switches, but in this version, that's only part of it. You also need to complete the fuse box and turn on the power, only then will it activate. But if you do what I'm prone to doing and using the spoon as soon as you turn the power on, you've effectively locked yourself in a dead game because the short circuit cuts power to the thing as well, and tile C is forever out of your reach. Thanks, Skutnik. Thankfully, this wasn't the case in the next update, which wasn't released only a month later. 2 years later, in October 2007, we got version 3, and things are starting to look very familiar, now with the more up-to-date title screen design, and also the subtitle, officially cementing the first game as The Basement. As I said earlier, the map layout doesn't change after the extended version, so it's all the same here. The big change, however, has more to do with the gameplay, as version 3 had the game completely rebuilt in the then current gameplay engine, which mainly meant that the inventory was no longer drag and drop. Aside from the dead game scenario in which the thing works immediately from pulling the switches and doesn't turn off, version 3 also did away with the multiple endings and the... Yep, now it's just plain old... I'm honestly not sure whether to be disappointed or not. The next version came the following year in June of 2008, which... engine update? That's about it, really. Most of the real rebuilding was done in the extended version, so the subsequent updates pretty much all just worked toward making the build of the game more current. The final update before the HD release was version 5 in March of 2014, which was possibly another engine update. If there was, it's not really noticeable. Oh! The golden coin was replaced with the ancient coin. And the ending scene has this lovely fade-out effect. Yeah, that's all I got. And then, the HD release, which is what I play for you today. It's for all intents and purposes just version 5, except in... HD! And nothing else, really. Well, I guess I can point out that the elevator room turns this eerie red when you bring all the tiles, and the wisdom gem now glows this tranquil blue.
So pretty.
And that about does it for the history lesson. Quite a lot of attention given to such a small game over the space of 10 years, and I'll be sure to give the rest of the series as much attention as possible as well. Before I move on to the next game, I would like to mention that if you guys find yourself interested in the series, I'll be leaving links to the games in the description, even the past versions if you feel as if you want to try them yourself. Every game in the series can be played for free from Skutnik's website, so do check them out. But with all that said, be sure to stick around for the next game, Submachine 2, The Lighthouse. As always, thank you all so much for watching, and until next time guys, my name is Matt Omega, and I'll see you guys later.